I have been poring over the details of the upcoming budget landscape, specifically what 2026 might hold for the UK. What I am seeing raises significant concerns, particularly for a crucial segment of our population, pensioners. There's a quiet shift underway, an undercurrent of policy changes that, while not always loudly proclaimed, could lead to a far colder winter for many. The problem, as I perceive it, is a gathering storm of indirect pressures on older savers and those relying on fixed incomes. While there are no overt proclamations of hidden ISA rule changes for 2026, the year acts as a deceptive calm before a series of announced financial adjustments take effect. These adjustments, set to begin in 2027, appear to penalise cautious savers and present a challenging environment for financial planning, especially for those in or approaching retirement. My concern is that these changes, combined with a tightening economic outlook, will disproportionately affect pensioners who mistakenly believe the current, relatively stable ISA system will endure. But before we continue, if you think this information is important and you want to stay ahead of these changes, please subscribe to my channel. I'm creating videos regularly about how to protect your retirement income and make the most of your savings. We're aiming to reach our first 1,000 subscribers, and your subscription really helps us grow this community. Let's make sure you're not caught off guard by these changes. Why is this a problem now? For years, the individual savings account, or ISA, has been a bedrock of UK savings culture. Introduced on the 6th of April 1999, these tax-advantaged vehicles replaced their predecessors, personal equity plans and tax-exempt special savings accounts, offering a straightforward way to save without paying tax on interest or capital gains. From 2017 to 2024, a standard £20,000 annual allowance became established, creating a sense of stability and predictability for millions of savers. This consistency fostered trust, encouraging responsible financial planning, particularly among those nearing retirement who saw ISAs as a safe harbour for their hard-earned money. Many pensioners have grown accustomed to using their ISAs as an extension of their income, drawing down amounts as needed, often for unexpected expenses or to supplement their state pension. The overall ISA limit for the 2025-2026 tax year remains £20,000 per person. This includes cash ISAs, stocks and shares ISAs, lifetime ISAs, and innovative finance ISAs, though some have specific sublimits, such as the £4,000 cap on lifetime ISAs. Crucially, in 2025-2026, savers can still allocate up to the full £20,000 into a cash ISA if they choose. This flexibility, the ability to move funds in and out within the same tax year without losing tax-free status, has been a critical feature for many. For a flexible ISA, if you contributed £10,000 and then withdrew £3,000, you could still contribute another £13,000 in the same year. However, in a non-flexible ISA, that withdrawn £3,000 cannot be resheltered, permanently reducing your tax-free allowance for the year. This distinction is vital, and a potential misunderstanding of it could have serious implications. Up to now, the system has encouraged prudent saving. But beneath the surface, a new directive was announced. The autumn budget of 2025, confirmed by Chancellor Rachel Reeves on the 26th of November 2025, revealed significant changes coming into play from April 2027. These are not hidden, but they are far enough in the future that their potential impact on pensioner finances in 2026 might be overlooked. The most significant alteration is a cut to the annual cash ISA limit. For savers under the age of 65, this limit will be reduced from £20,000 to just £12,000 a year. Those over 65 will retain the £20,000 limit for cash ISAs, a small comfort, but it creates a distinct two-tier system. Compounding this, Chancellor Reeves also confirmed there would be no change to the stocks and shares or innovative finance ISA limits. But other upcoming changes include a future ban on transfers from investment ISAs into cash ISAs, also effective from April 2027. This means that once money is in an investment ISA, it cannot be easily moved to the perceived safety of a cash ISA without losing its tax advantage status, potentially forcing investors to take on more risk than they would prefer in their later years. There will also be a tax charge on interest from cash held inside stocks and shares and innovative finance ISAs, again from 2027 onwards. This means that even within an investment ISA, any uninvested cash could lose its tax-free status, forcing more complex active management of savings. These changes, while nominally taking effect in 2027, cast a long shadow over 2026. Pensioners looking to plan their finances for retirement, or those already retired, might find themselves in a precarious position. The stability they once relied upon is eroding. Imagine Arthur, who has consistently maximised his cash ISA allowance each year, viewing it as his emergency fund and a source of supplementary income. He might not be aware that for his grandchildren, the junior ISA allowance stands at £9,000, a figure that almost feels generous next to what his younger self would experience in the future. Now, with the horizon of 2027 rapidly approaching, Arthur, if he were under 65, would see his ability to shelter cash significantly reduced. This brings us to the context of why these changes might be happening. The UK economy has navigated a period of increased volatility, with inflationary pressures and the lingering effects of global events impacting household budgets. The government, regardless of the party in power, faces immense pressure to manage public finances and stimulate economic growth. While the official line aims to encourage investment in stocks and shares to fuel the economy, the indirect consequence is a reduction in the attractiveness of cash savings. This can be seen as an effort to nudge savers towards riskier but potentially more growth-orientated investments. Simultaneously, the government confirmed that the overall ISA limit will remain £20,000 until at least 2030-2031, providing a sense of overall continuity, but it masks the targeted restrictions within the cash ISA component. What has been attempted thus far? The consistent £20,000 overall ISA limit has been crucial in anchoring public confidence in savings. The flexibility of certain ISAs, allowing withdrawals and redeposits within the same tax year, has been a partial solution to maintaining liquidity without tax penalties. For many, these features have mitigated the need for complex financial instruments or risky investments to manage their day-to-day finances. The distinction between flexible and non-flexible ISAs, however, highlights an area where understanding is critical. Without clear guidance, many will assume their ISA is flexible and only discover it isn't when it's too late, leading to an unintended and permanent loss of precious tax-sheltered savings. The latest approach, announced in the autumn budget of 2025, seems designed to achieve several goals simultaneously. By reducing the cash ISA limit for under 65s, the government aims to channel more funds into investment ISAs, thereby encouraging capital market activity. The future ban on transfers from investment ISAs to cash ISAs and the tax charge on cash interest within investment ISAs further reinforce this push. These measures are not directly targeting pensioners in a punitive way, but their effects could ripple through the financial landscape, making careful financial management more challenging. There is also an indicated consultation in early 2026 on a new first-time buyer ISA product. This replacing of the lifetime ISA suggests a continued evolution of these savings vehicles, further underscoring the dynamic nature of these rules. So, what is the impact? The most significant result for many will be a subtle but profound shift in how they view and use their ISAs. For those under 65, the reduced cash ISA allowance means less opportunity to shield their liquid savings from taxation. This pushes individuals toward investment ISAs, which carry inherent market risk, a risk many prudent savers, especially as they age, prefer to avoid. For pensioners relying on their ISAs to supplement their income, the implications are particularly stark. They face potential pressure to move funds into less secure investments or to keep more cash outside the tax-free wrapper, where it becomes vulnerable to tax on interest. When we consider a hypothetical pensioner like Margaret, who carefully manages her modest fixed income, every pound saved free of tax makes a tangible difference. If she, or her children who are nearing retirement age, are accustomed to a £20,000 cash ISA allowance, the sudden reduction to £12,000 from April 2027 will necessitate a radical reassessment of their savings strategy. This might compel them to make difficult choices between liquidity, risk, and tax efficiency, possibly forcing them to either expose more of their savings to market fluctuations or to pay tax on interest payments they previously avoided. The future consequence of these accumulating policy shifts is a potentially more complex and less forgiving savings landscape, particularly for the cautious individual. While the overall ISA limit offers a facade of stability, the targeted changes within the cash ISA structure present a challenge. For those at or approaching retirement, the need for informed financial planning in 2026, understanding the subtle currents of these approaching changes, becomes paramount. It is a time for heightened awareness, to scrutinise the fine print, and to prepare for a financial environment where the rules of the game are quietly but firmly changing, long before the impacts are fully felt.